Hey everyone, my name is Mike Elzinski, and I'm one of the members of the ENES 100 teaching team. Today I'm in the Jong H. Kim Engineering Building, walking through the Innovation Hall of Fame, surrounded by amazing graduates and alumni of the University of Maryland that have left an indelible mark on the field of engineering and the world around us. The purpose of this lecture is really to give you an idea of what is engineering all about and what did you get yourself into when you signed up for a degree at the University of Maryland in engineering. So the first thing we want to look at is what is engineering? And what does it mean? One of the former members of the ENES 100 teaching team, Kristen Markham, actually did some research on this subject. She went out into the real world and polled all sorts of people from different walks of life to ask them what they associated when they thought of the word engineering. And we can see the results over here. People weren't particularly clever because the number one response and word that people associate with engineering is engineering. But aside from that, people, you can see by looking at these words over here, associate all sorts of things with engineering. They associate the sciences, math, physics, chemistry, all of those sorts of things. And that's true. Your interest in science and math courses in high school is probably one of the main reasons you're studying engineering in college. But aside from just the technical content, people think that engineers do all sorts of really great, impressive things. They solve problems, they address challenges to hopefully make a difference and improve the world. Engineers do really have a tall task, but it's an important one. It's all about improving the world that we live in for ourselves and all people and living beings. Aside from that definition, let's see what some other members of the ENES 100 teaching team think about what engineering is to them.
Hi everyone, I'm Quinn and I'm a UTF for ENES 100. Engineering is all about collaboration. It's about working with people from different backgrounds who have different experiences and ways of thinking to create the most inclusive and innovative ideas. It requires us to be creative, to dare greatly, and to have fearless ideas.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh, and I'm one of the graduate teaching assistants with the ENES 100. To me, engineering is all about tinkering. Being able to mess around in a workshop, playing around with all the ideas and innovations you have to solve problems, that's what engineering is all about. And it doesn't have to be problems just in your life. It can be problems that occur anywhere around the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Casey Banis and I'm a UTF for ENES 100. Engineering to me is all about creativity. It's about making products to better the lives of others. And it's also about ethics and about making a good impact on the world and on those around you.
So, what is engineering to me? When I think of what an engineer is, I think of a person that is trying really to make the world a better place. They're combining their knowledge from math and science, as well as all sorts of other different fields. Public health, economics, policy, psychology as well. You have to know people. But engineers take all of this diversity of knowledge and information and they apply it to some of the world's most complex problems to try and solve them and help people. And we need that now more than ever. Most importantly, an engineer does not work alone. An engineer works in a team. And that's why here at the university, you'll be a part of many different projects where you'll have to work with a team. Because when you think about it, the world is just one giant team project, and we're all here to try and make it a better place. The University of Maryland has engineering majors available in all sorts of different fields, each one making its own particular and important mark on the world around us. If we look at one of the most pressing and important challenges facing our society today, we could probably all think climate change. Now, at the university there are all sorts of different degrees available. And you might be thinking, climate change, that's a civil engineering problem. But when you really think about it, each type of engineering can be involved in almost all of the others. There's lots of crossover between the disciplines, especially when you look at grand problems. If we take the example of climate change, you can imagine that an aerospace engineer, they're involved in planes and satellites. But when you're measuring climate change, you want to have a really good picture of what the Earth is like. So building satellites is actually a very important part of monitoring the Earth and the oceans for carbon dioxide and temperature change. Bioengineers might be involved by looking at biological systems, maybe designing biofuels with chemical engineers that maybe reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Civil engineers, we know, might be involved in energy systems, solar panels, wind farms, dams. Damn, that's good. But civil engineers are involved in all sorts of different aspects related to climate change as well to help us reduce emissions and generate electricity in a clean fashion. We've also got material scientists trying to develop technologies that are able to help us be better. If we can make our designs for cars and planes and other things lighter, we may be able to make things more efficient and reduce the fuel use that we use that's producing carbon dioxide that's causing climate change. Mechanical engineers, very similar premise. Mechanical engineers might work with Tesla and other companies to make more fuel-efficient systems and better machines that help us do the things that we want to do with less energy and more clean. No matter which field of engineering you go into at Maryland or in the real world, you're going to be studying math, science, and all sorts of different fields. But at the end of the day, all of the different engineers have to work together to be able to solve global problems. And hopefully throughout this class you'll learn all about that, and in your degree at Maryland you'll graduate a competent and capable engineer to go out into the real world and address the complex problems that we face. Not only do engineers work together to solve complex global problems, but they also work on all sorts of systems that you experience in your every single day life. If you become like me one day, you'll be blessed or cursed with this ability to see engineering all around you. You'll see equations spinning everywhere. Not quite, but honestly, when you do start to look at all the things you interact with on a day-to-day basis, you will realize that engineering truly is all around you. Let's look at some examples of how engineers work on common everyday systems that have a true and meaningful impact in your life.
Engineering takes us from place to place. Understanding centroids, moments of inertia, dynamics, and mechanical advantage all combined for a fun and efficient ride.
Engineering is even in our hobbies. Take golf for example. Material science to forge the clubs, and aerodynamics to impact the flight of the golf ball.
Engineering is even in your household. Take this steamer, for example. It uses electricity and the principle of thermodynamics to keep your clothes very smooth. I love to steam my clothes in between classes to make sure I'm looking extra fine.
Engineering is even below our feet, to the sidewalks and roads that we walk and drive on, to the sewer and stormwater management system to help keep our streets clear of water. Civil engineers design all sorts of different systems, combining chemistry, fluid mechanics, material science, as well as oceanic and earth sciences, to help keep our society running.
Engineering is even above our heads to keeping us safe. Let's take a closer look at the sprinkler. It uses heat transfer, chemical properties, and fluid dynamics to extinguish the flames. Thanks, fire protection engineers, for keeping us out of danger.
Let's recap what we've talked about in today's video. In the beginning, we discussed what is engineering, and we really introduced that through my eyes, our teaching fellows' eyes, as well as other people. We also began to discuss how engineering can be used to solve grand problems, what types of engineers there are, and how all of them have to collaborate together. But we also learned about how engineering affects our everyday lives. Hopefully in this video you've gotten a greater appreciation for how significant engineering is and how big of a role it plays. And hopefully throughout this course and your time at the university, you do your all to learn and be the best engineer that you can be.